My name is Christy Best and I'm a Senior Director with Usborne Books More. I'm excited to talk with you a little bit about how you can be using your back office now that you're a leader. Now this definitely is going to differ from leader to leader, but here are just some ways that I have started using it and ways that I have found to be beneficial. So the first thing that we're going to look at is recruits who are in their incentive period. So that is going to be right here when you log in. You will get to see all of your recruits who are in their incentive period. So let's look at one in particular and the information that you can find. So let's say that this is Susie. So we can see that Susie, how far she is away from the next incentive level, and we can see when her incentive period ends. So Susie has $466 left, and her incentive period ends September 3rd, which is about 2 weeks away. So I'm going to be sending Susie a message and encouraging her and reminding her what she can get when she hits that Success Kit 1 and make a plan. Okay. Also, when you click on the recruit's name over here, there's going to be some information that pops up. So this is all the information that you can find about your recruits. You can see their name, their status, their ID, their sponsor, their leader, contact details, and then so much information about the program, the date they started, the end of the 30 days, the end of the incentive period, and then if they are an educational consultant or not. Okay, so let's go back to your home screen in back office. So we looked at the recruits in the incentive period. So now we're going to dig in a little bit into this section, which is more the nitty-gritty of everybody. And so this is the same no matter what level you're looking at, but let's start by looking just at your Central Group. So up here, when you click on Detailed Central Group, you are going to have all of these report options and sort fields and display options, and it can be very overwhelming. So don't let it overwhelm you. I am going to talk with you about the two that I use the most often. So the first one that I use is going to be the start date. So I change, this is the one that it defaults to, but if you change your display options to all active, sort field to start date, and then sort order descending, it's going to start with the most recent consultant and then work its way down. So this is helpful because you can see start dates, and then you can also see who has sponsored a new recruit recently. So this is really helpful for me as a leader to see who is actively recruiting in my Central Group and my first line leaders and second line leaders, and then which recruits are brand new. Another report option that I use very often is the total sales. Now, to get this total sales to show up, you have to change the display option first. So if you go over here to display option and change it to say active with sales, some other options pop up. So once you click that and you go to total sales, descending, and you can click the month that you want to use, and then everyone in your Central Group will be in order from the most sold all the way down to the least sold. So this is really helpful for me if I want to see my top sellers, if I want to be reaching out, and then also toward the end of the month when I'm looking at who is close to hitting certain rewards and incentives. So this is a tool that I use probably the most, this active with sales, total sales, descending. Okay, so I also wanted to show you, as a team leader, this team leader tracker is still applicable to you. So I know you probably use this during your promotion process, but you can also use this team leader tracker with any of your downlines. So this is really helpful as we are watching numbers and encouraging team members. If you have all of their IDs handy, you just type their ID in here and click go, and you can pull up the team leader tracker for any of your downlines. So if I look here, I'm going to pretend that this is Susie. So if we see she didn't make July, but if I look at her August, she has hit her individual sales needed, and she's only 850 away from her group sales. She already has one active and one success-bound recruit, so she is doing awesome. So yay for this recruit. So I look at this often for that total sales and to see who is close to promotion, how much more they need, and to make a plan. And then lastly, consultant sales history. This is awesome. When you click consultant sales history, this is going to pop up. So you could put in their consultant ID and you get to select whatever range that you want. So this is an example. I put in from June to August. So this is helpful as I look at if I need to see if somebody is still an active recruit for promotion purposes, if I want to see, look at their year numbers. Usborne's fiscal year is from April 1st to the following March 31st. So if I want to see how much somebody has sold in the fiscal year, if I'm looking for an active recruit, or to look at team leader for probation, any of these things, this consultant sales history is going to be really helpful. You can see what months that they did well in. You can compare your own sales. So say from June 2018 to June 2017, there are just many uses to the consultant sales history. So I hope that was helpful and not too overwhelming. This back office, there are so many tools, and as you just start to use them a little bit more, you will learn what works for you. So the last thing that I want to talk to you about is a little bit about how I use all of this information. Again, this is going to change from person to person, but me personally, on the 1st of the month, I do shout outs from the previous month. The 8th of the month, I do stomp the zeros, which basically is just anybody who has a sale. 13th of the month, I reach out to my top sellers and I start planting promotion seeds. 16th of the month, mid-month recognition. So my team builders, anybody who's recruited, anyone who has sold 1,000, and then anyone who has sold 2,000. I also sometimes offer incentives for people who have sold $1,000 by mid-month so that they start the month strong. The 23rd of the month, I message anyone who is close to 1,000, and then the last week of the month, I am stalking promotion numbers, always looking at incentive period ending dates in the YOS rewards level and making sure that I am identifying anyone who is close. For any other questions, please reach out to your team leader, but I hope that this was helpful as we dig into your back office.